Interesting. Bo Nix really struggled in the first half. And yet, Sean Payton and coaches kind of tell me what they think of their quarterback by the plays they call. So he didn't put bubble wrap on him. They went out in the second half. They were outplayed in the first. They were aggressive. And it was interesting because Bo had he was overshooting everybody. He had a rough first half. It was rough. And I thought, oh, this could go sideways. And then the second half, I'm like, yeah, this is just one of those games. So I want you to go back to early in your career. I think it's easy to let a first half drag to the second emotionally. And yet Sean Payton's like, nope, just go make plays. And I think that's hard for a coach. If you weren't as confident as Sean Payton to say, no, we're going to throw the ball down the field. They should have lost that game. Jonathan Taylor did him a favor. They were totally outplayed, out-schemed in the first half, and yet they won. A little on Bo Nix, Payton, but a little on your career. Is it hard after a rough first half to go, yeah, I'm just going to forget it, amnesia? Is that harder than we think?
Listen, it's a sign of a good team that you can win a game when your quarterback doesn't play well. But just speaking about Sean Payton, sure, I can remember at halftime early in my career, I wasn't playing well. Mike Holmgren, the head coach, would come into the locker room, and instead of berating me, because I was the one not playing well in the first half, he would rip the defense who was playing well. He would rip the special teams, and he would say it in a way, he'd be like, defense, leaders, special teams, I got a young quarterback. Like, I'm counting on you, not him. I'm counting on you to step up. And it was almost like, oh, crap. Like it's actually worse than if he was ripping me. Now I feel like, hey, man, you better get your act together. And I think even just like for the offensive line and the skill guys, they're saying like, hey, man, we got to pick our young quarterback up. Like, we got to give him opportunities. And I know the stats weren't great, so people are going to pile on Bo Nix. I know the turnovers, but he had some great plays that brought him back into that game also. Yes. Was he aided by the fact that the defense scored? The special teams came up huge. Yeah. And that's part of it. That's part of football. But I do think that this can give you confidence, almost like a blessing in disguise that says, hey, like we're not about one guy. And everybody on that team's been on a team where the quarterback got all the credit and it was like, oh, it's just because of the quarterback. And they knew the truth that this is a football team. It's 11 guys at a time, and it's way more than that go into the success. And so when you have a team that's more about the collection, the sum of all the parts, instead of just one guy who gets to talk at the podium after the game, I think there's something special there. And Denver's building it. They've got a foundation, and just much like Mike Holmgren did for us in Seattle, you can tell that Sean Payton's done that quickly in Denver.
Yeah, I love that. I really wasn't sure how good Matt Hasselbeck would be in these types of conversations with ex-players. You just never know. Are they going to tell it like it is? Are they going to give you stereotypical coach speak, where there's a will, there's a way? Are they going to give like actual good in-depth insight, personal experience? You just don't know. And that's why Mark Sanchez has been a great surprise to me. I love this insight and kind of the angle that he took it. And it's so funny because with Caleb Williams, and the Chicago Bears, the team needs to be there to support either your backup quarterback or your rookie quarterback. That they need to be able to make plays, because if you're not making plays, if you're dropping passes or not picking up your young rookie quarterback up, when that rookie quarterback makes mistakes like he absolutely will, undeniably, it starts to compound. It gets worse. And it is the perfect example of that would just be yesterday watching the Chicago Bears play. Caleb was absolutely missing some throws. It's undeniable, right? They were just some bad throws that he was making. But then when he would make a great throw, a beautiful throw, a perfect throw, they drop it. And you're just like, you can't do that. Everything starts to compound now. You can't hurt your rookie quarterback. You're the established team. You're the established veteran. You have a lot less on your plate than the quarterback. You need to play less, more mistake-free football than your literal rookie quarterback. And that's the mark of a good team or a bad team. And that's why we were able to see the Green Bay Packers when Jordan Love went down and they had to put up a backup quarterback. You saw that team rise to the occasion and step up, make big plays for their for their backup. And that's what we've seen the Broncos do. That even in the games that Bo Nix has not been flawless or perfect or making these beautiful throws and beautiful reads, you still see the team step up, whether it be the defense, like, wherever it may come around. And that's what we saw. And that's awesome. And again, sometimes it feels like a team is sometimes doing that. They're kind of overcoming the mistakes or liabilities or limit, the limited ability of a quarterback, and it feels like they're doing it because they feel like they don't have any other choice, and it's just like, well, we got to do something. You saw this a lot with the Steelers before they kind of got Russ. You've seen this with a handful of teams over the years, and that's not what this feels like. This feels like, hey, our quarterback, is just not there for us in this exact moment. We got this. Hey, he's had our back before, because there was other games where it was reversed, where Bo Nix was doing everything, like against the Ravens, for instance, where he was doing everything to try to help the Broncos out, but the Broncos just couldn't. That game was just, was just too far gone, and yet Bo Nix is still doing everything and laying it all on the line. And the team loves that, especially some of the older guys, and they're looking at him still going all in and not giving up and still acting like that they can still somehow, close that deficit. Players love that. They respect it. You will always respect hard work, determination, focus. As a player, as a teammate, you just want to feel that the other player cares, honestly. You just want to feel that that person cares as much as I do. You can't always expect them to be able to be amazing or great or make that amazing play in any given moment, because that's just, you can't do it every single time. You're going to fail, and as another player, you're going to know, I failed a million times too. But when you feel that the other player just cares and just wants it so badly, that's where that respect and that connectedness can really build from. And again, you see that. And that's the big benefit of Bo Nix's mentality, which is, I keep referring to now. This will now be my third video where I refer to him as kind of like this Tom Brady mentality, where you can just tell he cares so much. He's so focused. He's so concentrated. And that just resonates with the team. If Bo Nix was throwing interceptions and he just kind of had that smile and was like, come on, man, what are you going to do about it? That's hard, because it's like, don't smile, man. You're making my life harder right now. And some players and some teams can do it. They bring that energy to it, and I get it. That energy is more fragile. It is. It can absolutely be beneficial, can absolutely help, and for some players, they can thrive in it. But there's also a fragility to it. On the flip side, you can go too far to the extreme, where you're too intense, too focused, too concentrated, and it's like, then you're in this pressure cooker situation, and you're just kind of like, oh my God, if I make any mistake, any fumble, any interception, whatever, you play too tight, and then if you do make that mistake, one, you're now not playing as good as you could, and if you do make the mistake, you can just crumble. Everything can just kind of unravel, and it's like, that's uncomfortable as well. So that's why when you have this great balance, surprise, surprise, balance is the way to go. And I think that's what this team is able to bring. And that's what Bo Nix is able to bring. And so it's just, again, it just continues to be awesome to see. I continue to find more reasons to like Bo Nix and believe in what he's able to achieve and what he'll be able to accomplish moving forward. And I just love the emphasis on kind of the team around, the team as a whole for the Broncos, and not just put it all on the shoulders of Bo Nix. And again, that's the mark of a team that's well coached, well prepared. They believe in what they can accomplish. It also shows that they believe in their quarterback, because they know it's still possible, because they're not giving up. They're not like, oh God, here we go again. Did you see the Colts do that for their quarterback? The answer is no. That's actually another perfect parallel. Do you see the Colts doing that week after week? Absolutely, positively not. Absolutely, positively not. And you saw what Taylor did when he drops, when he fumbles the ball. That's not helping your quarterback who's hanging on by a thread here. You got to be better than that. Colts, and you can see the parallels and the differences of not only of obviously just quarterback play, but also just kind of how connected in the belief in said quarterback and the team as a whole. You could just see the difference. And like I always say, there's certain things that just jump off the screen, and that's one of them. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix? Are you impressed with that win, despite Bo's struggles, and kind of how the team kind of rallied behind and was able to pick Bo up? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.